Hello and welcome to another edition of the Punters Guide. Yes, Cheltenham is upon us, the November meeting, second only in stature to the festival in the spring, as Joel Ross is going to join us to look ahead to Saturday and Sunday at Presbury Park. But all of the weekend, Joel, not many runners, sadly.
No, it's really sad. I mean, everybody was anoracking and getting really excited and jiggy about the fact that Cheltenham's here now. We've got the big race in Ireland at the weekend before the Irish Racing Festival at Christmas, the King George and everything. This is the one that really lifts you up. And there's what did we say? 27 runners over 5 races or something, 6 races. It's a bit disappointing.
It is, yeah. We've got the Great Wood, full field there. That's going to be a decent puzzle. And we're going to start with the Paddy Power Gold Cup as well, because this is a full field and it's an absolute belter. We're talking about Grade 1 handicaps. We like Grade 1 handicaps, a bit more competitive. This is something similar, isn't it? We've got Protectorate, Grade 1 winner, Simply the Bet's a festival winner. You know, these are very good horses trying to give lots of weight to equally very good horses further down.
Yeah, I mean, the cat's out of the bag with Lawler or Laylaw, whichever you want to go for. Because bearing in mind, Paul Nicholls did call Kato Star for about 3 years. So the official pronunciation is Lawler, isn't it? The one that used to be with Kaylee Woolacott and before that, Richard Woolacott. That's now been moved to Nicholls. The wind operation, it's been smashed in the betting, 20-1 into like 5 or 6-1 or something like that. Still wears a tongue tie as well. I inquired about that yesterday, and apparently that's still quite common. In my head, someone's trying to have it right off, but apparently after a wind up, having the tongue ties is still quite common. I know it's not about being emotional and whatever. I'm very loyal to a trainer. If you got a horse, I like to stay loyal, but you know, Paul's not going to turn down Lawler. He's in a win-win situation. Horse is rubbish at the weekend. Doesn't make a lot of difference. If it wins, Paul Nicholls is the best in the best of the best. Aidan loses out on the ride, which is bad for me. Can I go for 2 here?
Please do.
After having a pop at Paul Nicholls there for taking this horse, can I go for Simply the Bet's? Which has come from, is it Whittington's stable, isn't it? He's lost quite a lot of it. It's Harry Whittington's. Bryony Frost now gets a mount. The instructions, as we hear, are she's got to try and do a throwdown on Simply the Bet's, and she's brilliant at that. You know, she's got a lot of knockers. She's a really great jockey. Some people find her quite annoying at times or whatever. I find it quite refreshing, to be fair, because if you just had Ryan Moore every day, you know, what sort of gig would be in? But for me, Simply the Bet's for me, about 12-1, something like that. Try and make all. And this is where you're really going to knock me now. Although we had a great time a couple of weeks ago at Cheltenham, if I say to you 3 letters, ASO, as in ASO, around, I can see the smile already, around 40 or 50-1, Venetia Williams, Charlie Deutsch. Last one at Cheltenham on New Year's Day, and I think it was 2019 or something along those lines. We always say, if we're having a play, I always back ASO, wherever it is, for £2.50 each way. You know, he's 27 years old, but I you know, there will be terms. I mean, what are you doing? Paying first 5, maybe? Something like that?
Yeah, extra places, yeah.
Yeah, extra places with Betfred. If he's 40, 50, 66-1 on the day, you can see him really on late. You know, he's not getting any younger, but for a bit, it's not even a laugh. You know, good old horse, never reached the real top. What did he go off in the Gold Cup? 150-1 or something like that. Was
he's second in the Rye now, wasn't he?
Yeah, this is what I mean. So just roll back the years. There's no long-term target now. Let's you know, if we use in side of terms, there won't be saving him for another day. You know, he'll be off for the day. You know, it's come on, let's have a go at whatever price that is. So Simply the Bet's for me is the main bet at 12, something like that, and ASO at a stupid price for a bit of fun.
There we are then. Yeah, get stuck in. Looking forward to that 5 places we are on the Paddy Power Gold Cup 215. Obviously, the first race in front of the ITV cameras is a small field novice chase. We'll move on to the 250 as well, Joe, because this is an absolute cracker as well. A 3-mile handicap hurdle, and a lot of them latched onto Prashimi earlier on in the week. Was really well back for the Skeltons. He was second in graded company. He was ridden to get the trip. Now he knows he stays 3 miles. Might be a little bit more forceful on him.
Yeah, I think he's going to look good. I mean, you know, what we always say is every year, Dan and Harry Skelton going to have a great year. There's praise all the time for Dan Skelton being, you know, media trained, media savvy, gives his time up. He's great. Harry's a great lad as well and top jockey. And this is a guy, 5-6 years ago, couldn't buy a ride. Great combo. But again, it's about proving it. Can you do it on the best stage? You can, run up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 timers in a row elsewhere, but can you come to, Cheltenham and prove it? Do you remember when Sporting John was going to be a good horse? Do you remember this? This is one of my tracker for ages and ages and ages. And also, remember when Philip Hobbs was up there with Martin Pipe as being great? He's running at 3%, 1 win in 40 runs in the past 2 weeks. He's dreadfully out of form. And Tom O'Brien, obviously stable jockey now, taken over from Dickie Johnson. He hasn't ridden a winner for about 3 weeks in 40-something rides. Stable woefully out of form. But for me, I thought I'd got one here with Dragon's Bones. Only beat the length last month. Watched it back last night. Made a mistake at the third. Shorter room, 2 out. Kept on pretty well. Before that, he won 3 races in a row. I think it was Hexham, Worcester, and I think it was Newton Abbott, somewhere like that. Dragon's Bone for me, Dragon's Bones rather, plural, at around 4-1. It was 9 or 10-1 earlier on in the week. And for me, you look at that unseat 1-1-1-2. Not too bad, to be fair, at around 4-1. If you get 9-2, 5-1, then great. But for me, I think it's a fairly strong bet to take on the Harry Skelton, Dan Skelton horse.
Yeah, Harry Skelton actually rode Dragon Bones last time out, didn't he? He was lucky not to win at the October meeting. Another competitive race as well, the 325 is intermediate handicap. Again, the Skeltons have got the likely market leader, Unexpected Party. Well, he was certainly expected to win because he was smashed off the boards at Wetherby last time, but the handicap has reacted, stuck him up £11. This is tougher.
Yeah, this is a lot tougher. £11 isn't going to be great. A lot of money this morning for Mackleduff, for Volley Murphys and Aidan Coleman. Can I have a look at Good Time Johnny for Tony Martin? Now, we've mentioned him many times over the last few years, AJ Martin. Not as prominent as he used to be. It used to be, you looked at a race in Ireland, if it was 0-0-0-0/0-0 and was smashed off the boards, it won on the bridle. What is it we say? They know the time of day. Now, won Gowran Park handicap hurdle last month by 5 lengths. Well backed. Ran in the champion bumper last year. I think it was 9th or 10th at around 66-1. Wasn't meant to be, doing anything special on that day. But the money has come slowly for this horse. And anytime I look at Tony Martin, I just think it's worth a little play. Like you say, Unexpected Party. It's a lot tougher. Mackleduff, yeah, maybe for me. Benson, there's too many question marks for me. So I am going to get the dabber out here and simply go for somebody I'm attracted to. Not in that way, but Toby Martin, Peter Carberry, Good Time Johnny. Won last time, and the money's coming slowly.
Right, they're the best race of the day at Cheltenham. Then we're going to move on to Sunday's action as well, because there's 2 races we want to talk about here. One very small field graded chase and one big field handicap hurdle. First up, the Schlaw Chase at 220. Our very own Mark Pearson's favourite horse. Put the Kettle on. Unbeaten at Cheltenham, unbeaten in November. Henry de Bromhead bringing a decent team over. Can she beat Nubia Negra once again? Because she did it in the big one, the champion in March.
Well, if we're looking at a champion chase, I watched that back last night. It's the comedy of comedy races, isn't it? Was it Daryl Jacob who tried to get up at the inside on So Royal? There wasn't a gap there at all, whatever. That was a jockey I don't know what the hell he was doing. We had the 1-2 in the champion chase in this race, the previous winner, Politilog, and Rufif broke the track record in a handicap last October as well. This is I put up Sky Pirate in this race, because it would have been fit, non-runner, yeah? Not declared. Will not be running. Put the Kettle on, for me, never fancied, but wins. Goes off a big price. She's a really good horse. As we were praising Harry Skelton earlier for all he does, I thought he gave Nubia Negra an absolute shocker in the Queen Mother. Just too much to do. Forget that Punchestown race as well for Nubia Negra. It was just 1 race too many. I think I've tried to play this in my head many times, and you never know what goes on in my head. Rouge Vif and Put the Kettle on would battle for the lead. This is what I think. They're going to take each other on, and I think Nubia Negra is going to be ridden closer to the pace, not given so much to do, and take them both at the finish. That's what I think. Originally, I had that for Sky Pirate in my head. Strong traveller, bit of a bridle poser. Didn't really find a lot off the bridle, but has done as well at Cheltenham before. So I'm simply replacing Nube Negra with my how you read the race in your mind. So Rouge Vif and put the kettle on, go to the lead. They go out the Harry Skelton way, but this time he sits just a couple off them in the van and takes them, maybe 2 out. That's what I'm going.
Not only have we got a selection, we've got how the race is going to be run as well. Can we have some of the vibes of the Great Wood then? A full field here, 20 of them, the big handicap hurdle. You know, you could throw a ruck in here and still not back the winner. This is an absolute cracker. Are we going to get how are the races run here?
Yes. They're all going to go off at a million miles an hour. A bit like that one that Oisin Murphy won at the Breeders' Cup with the Hong Kong horse. I said to my missus, she went, "Oh, Oisin Murphy." She knows nothing about racing, a bit like myself. She's like, we're watching it on Saturday night, and she says, "Oisin Murphy, isn't he champion jockey?" And I'm like, yeah, old Oisin Murphy. Yeah, he's great. Why don't you back him? Oh, he's on a Hong Kong horse. Never had the winner for this decade. No, it won't. No. Anyway, they go up a ridiculous pace at the start, and then he picks up the pieces at whatever it was, 80-1 at the end. Again, I'm going Irish here, and I am going Tony Martin. Now I've not got a hotline to him whatsoever, and I've got a couple in here. The 2 biggest certs I've got in here is Brian Hughes gets a ride, which is great. So the cert is that Newcastle, Sedgefield, and Hexham must be off. So Tudor City, 25-1. It appears this horse is on the go all the time, and people are going, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's probably going to be his last run before the break. Now, I'm trying to make a case for myself so people don't laugh at me. And if it lands or gets placed at whatever you are, 5 places, this year it's managed to place at the Curragh 33-1 in that Apprentice Derby. 5th in the Galway Hurdle when we paid out first 5 at 28-1. 2nd at Dundalk in a handicap last month at 25-1, beaten half a length. And last time out, won a handicap at Leopardstown. It was tailed off in this last year. But you've just got to look. You've got to look at it. It's a horse that keeps on going. You never know how the horse is going to do, but pops up at a good price. And in a massive field like this, you've got to be looking for a consistent horse that consistently places. And hopefully one day might just get the head in front, like last time. I mean, we've said this before about Mellon. Do you remember last year at the Cheltenham Festival? The best bet at the Cheltenham Festival, Mellon to be placed. Still running. But for me, it's probably a non-bet race, something to look at. But if you're having your couple of quid, Tudor City at 25s and probably will go off bigger for Tony Martin and Maxine O'Sullivan. And if it goes off 5-1, get your mortgage on. But
yeah, obviously she had a massive price with the Fox Hunters, didn't she? A couple of years ago, so she knows the track well.
Yeah, really good.
They're the big races of the weekend. We'll have plenty more from you as well across the weekend on the Cheltenham races, across all of our shop channels and retail channels as well. But what would be the best bet of the weekend at Presby Park?
Can I say my Drogo? This weekend, right? Okay, I'm probably going to go. If you go back a couple of weeks, what we said about Tritonic was so spot on, wasn't it? I think we said in the morning, Tritonic was the same price as something like Mo Salah to get 3 shots on target. Tritonic wasn't fit. I like to move it. We both I like to move it up in that race. And Tritonic for me, watching that race back, wasn't fit, but was also, how do we say this? Looked like it had other races in mind for the future. That's what I'm saying. We backed the winner that day. It was great. Drifted throughout the day, went off 11-8, ridden patiently is what the notes I've put here. No more excuses off 142. Is it around 10-1, something like this?
Yeah.
I think we'll be ridden differently. Love's a big field if you look at some of the platform as well. At 10-1, for me, you're not getting that price again if this horse is what they expect this horse to be. Around 10-12-1, whatever, off 142. Go for it today. This might be the Gold Cup for Tritonic, and this will be my best bet of the weekend.
Yeah, then Tritonic in the Great Wood, the best bet of the weekend in the Great Wood on Sunday. Thanks to Joel for joining us. Lots to come from him, as I say, stay across all of our social media channels to get to Joel's thoughts on the racing this weekend. And whatever you are backing, as always, the very best of luck.